Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to a 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. Winter between the west, we got Johan fighting here for the Soviet Union, Socialism, the 213th Rifle Division. Versus in the east, we got Nerbo fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 101st Panzer Brigade here with Mechanized Assault. We don't see that one so much lately, but Nerbo here clearly sort of trying to protect with the infantry Panzerfaust bulletins versus Johan Scout Motor shock rifle and counterattack tactics with double infantry and mine bulletins. Double contrast out there for Johan with MG42 assault grenadiers start here for Nerbo, certainly gives a bit more firepower, allows him to also play more aggressively as the Wehrmacht here in the early game if so chooses, with the assault certainly having some edges there in the early game if he handles them correctly there with the MP40s. They're Schmeissers, as they're colloquially known, though not really made by Schmeisser. I have to point that out, otherwise someone would just say, you know, Dane, they weren't made by Schmeisser. I'm like, I know, but they were colloquially called it. And that's sort of the thing there. Sometimes you have to be awfully literal when you point out these facts, because if you don't sort of be utterly literal, you sometimes people just misinterpret the point out, like, you know. So, anyways, MG42 moving out there, soldiers pushing in there again, very aggressively here for Nerbo, very aggressively. Southern point they're secured, slightly curious capping order there for him, considering he's pushing very much northwards. Again, it does feel like a very aggressive start. I mean, it's almost like he's sort of trying to play the Oberkommand West of the Wehrmacht. I suppose Mechanized Assault is the most suited doctrine for that in a sense. But there you go, grabbing the fuel point up here, blocking it with his soldiers, got constant flying in there. Quick spread here, though, can quickly get up close and allow him to win. But instead, he's in more intel and actually taking the point, or perhaps just buying time for the MG4 to arrive to then flank the constant and deal with them. The longer he stays out there, he risks, you know, losing their soldiers, not being able to do much with, in which case they're going to be rather expensive just to take a point with. There you go, got the fuel. Kanska suppress assault is actually pushing in on the suppress there. He's actually betting in the other squad almost, I would say there, but still he's risking the assault grenadier squad there. Second squad there dying for Nerbo. Meanwhile, Johan going for more conscripts. Sun being delayed here a bit. There we go, Northern Victory point secured as well. So pretty, very aggressive start here from the Wehrmacht with Nerbo. I would say atypically, but again, Mechanized Assault having gone from just being, you know, the doctrine has now gone to sort of, you know, the doctrine people occasionally use. Usually the ones actually, you know how to utilize the assault grenadiers to an extent and overall Mechanized Assault. So this is sort of it then actually gets interesting. You might actually see some, you know, deeper mastery of it. I know I find tends to be sort of one of those more interesting players. I haven't seen him a lot lately, but he seems to be back here. Got the MG4 doing about here. Back there we got take up for Nerbo. So double assault grenadiers into MG42. Now that is a very light opening there from Nerbo I've ever seen any. There you go, quick sprint there. Allowing the assaulters to quickly close the distance of the conscript. There we go, beat them up close. Whilst highlighting the strength of the assault grenadiers. The other squad don't need to retreat. They're still on health and I was taking that in negative cover. They're not gonna last. They're not gonna last. You know, Fritz, maybe we should head back for some reinforcements. Yeah, Dieter, but we haven't got notice for it. Also, yeah, there we go. Let's get the hell out of here. So it's basically staking the MG4 up here aggressively again. Very aggressive play there from Nerbo. Bit reckless to an extent. I feel like, I mean, if anything goes wrong here for Nerbo, that's going to be... that could very quickly basically become GG for him. I mean, he's not going for more infantry or additional machine guns, so he's clearly planning a tier 3 rush. Or not tier 3 plus tier 2 rush, using all of this, basically using the initial assault as he just throws opponent off onto the defensive, gaining a lot on map, and then buying time to then sort of fast tech for possibly Panzer Grenadiers, but also light vehicles that way contain Johan. And Johan, to an extent, knows sort of dealing with it nicely, though he's probably still a bit on the defensive. Or he's just pushing in aggressively. Might be sensing here that Nerbo is in fact playing for tier 2 rush, and that's going to make it as difficult as possible for Nerbo to execute without any issues. But he's not two-faced here. Meanwhile, we got doubling units on the 4 conscripts there for Johan, who has yet to go for doctrine. Like to make a nice company being set up there by Nerbo, who could have had a fast start if he'd gone for the second Pioneer squad. But he probably wants something out from it right over there. You go, double assault as they're converging on the point here. Conscripts there being surrounded. MP40 is just blasting away. The MP40 was one of the better submachine guns of the war. Basically, cheap to manufacture, operate, and maintain. In fact, a lot of armies, basically one way or the other, try to copy the MP40 design. It was also very simple. That's a little fun fact there. There was also some other variants used by the German army, like the MP38 and the MP34, earlier variants and such. It's a little fun facts there. He's going to need us. Should have popped assault grenades, but well, they're being pushed by. up here, bit of funding as well there. There you go, Panzer Grenadiers. So he's basically trying to rush out Panzer Grenadiers versus his opponent. Interesting opening there by Nerbo. And following up with a half-to the Mittelschützen Panzerwagen to burn away the enemies of the Reich. So there we go, we got hardened Panzer Grenadiers arriving here for Nerbo and one of the 1st Panzer Brigade. One of the few Panzer Brigades where they actually fought on the eastern front where they were intended. Most never made it there. Were actually sent up against the Western Allies. Grabbing the fuel point of the conscript, we've got mines going up. At least briefly attempted there by Johan, but decides against it. And we can now sort of see the weakness of Nerbo start again. While he's sort of allowed to take a lot of territory, he can't hold it very efficiently. And if his opponent, of course, sort of deduces what Nerbo's up to, as it seems that Johan did, he can then make sort of counter it by just pushing it fast, rapidly, without having to worry about encountering much. But there you go. Panzer is moving ahead there. The Fritz took a few bullets too many and dropped dead. A sack of rocks. Assault goes moving down. Then we got the half to cross again. He can actually use it to. He's upgrading it, but even before it's upgraded, he can then use it to reinforce his troops that way, keeping up better momentum versus his opponent. So Flammpanzerwagen away, we can see there more forces converting here for Johan. He's not bothered clearing up machine gun. That could perhaps backfire. We got mine going down there. Good spot by Johan as well, and the 213th Rifle Division. So there you go. Assault is pushing up there. Mark wants to pull into counter, pulls back towards the half track. Needs to reinforce again. Oh, that's going to be too late there. Flammpanzerwagen defects, but and there you go. Ration's being covered in hot, burning fire. Pushing it there with the Flammpanzerwagen. Assault is following up there. And conscripts moving northwards. Got pioneers moving further northwards as well. We got take up there for Johan. It's going to be the support weapon company. Bit rare to see that one. Again, it's just so much penal troopers and snipers that you just don't so much see the support weapon company. Though I still think it's pretty good. Got the infantry to now banding the hit. The house there and actually now setting up on the carve point. Nicely punishing Johan for actually leaving this behind, behind his lines, and that's actually the reason why you have to care about just, leaving anything, they can sort of quickly hit stuff behind your lines. Then, so bit of punishment there. We go. Mine goes off somewhere, and that was probably here. The assault Grenadiers suffering a few losses. Reinhard and Rudolf dead, taken apart by a mine. Take over there for Johan. Quickly following up there. Assault goes there. Range. They're not going to do well. They just need to retreat. Panzer Grenadiers securing territory on the south. Overall here, Nerbo is just securing a lot of the map against the opponent. We got Telemines up north. He's clearly expects his opponent to try and defend here and rush after anything there. So I think that's basically the expectation there by Nerbo, and that certainly makes a lot of sense, though certainly not flawless, because there's likely the flamethrower that's going to be a priority target. So he needs to keep it sort of within range to actually make use of that mine. Otherwise, he's just going to go for the flamethrower and blast it to bits. In the meanwhile, though, Nerbo's just pushing it as fast as he can here, burning away retreating infantry inside Johan's base. And Russian offensive continues southwards there. Panzer Grenadier there. Ooh, down to 2 men. That's not going to work well there. They need to retreat. Oh, he's down to 1. Oh, they're going to get wiped. They're going to go wiped. Ah, Nerbo. Scheiße, too late. That's a full 340 manpower wipe without really doing too much there. Bit of wasted, to be honest, by Nerbo. Bit of a waste. And you fall through the flank. Good work by Johan. We got the Flammpanzerwagen out there to pretty much stop them from doing anything. So we can see that Nerbo's actually got both fuel points. That means he's going to be able to sort of actually hit very rapidly of Johan there. If he's not careful against Nerbo. Nerbo could be taking up now, but he's first going for a medic bunker there. And I imagine here that Johan is going to prioritise a T-70 versus Nerbo, to that way punish his infantry and also hit the light vehicle. I mean, in that regard, a T-70 is going to be even better than normal, because the assault grenadiers do not get access to Panzerfaust, meaning they have no way of actually stopping it. So that means actually Nerbo is going to be to an extent very exposed to it. So that's something that Nerbo actually needs to be very careful. Of course, we know we got the Telemine up there, but the problem is that's just one out of, well, a lot of other places the T-70 could be. That's not going to be enough in a lot of situations. But there you go, Pack 40 out there for Nerbo. The Panzer up there can only feel sick. Telemine there spotted. Actually, more down here. Not bad, but of course spotted. Nerbo could in theory go for a mechanized assault group if you wanted to. And there you go, half-tech being assaulted here from the rear. Anti-tank grenade goes off. Up north, Pioneers sweeping ahead for Germany. And down south here, constantly being assaulted by soldiers getting vengeance for the Panzer Grenadiers. Yeah! Shot short, son. Yeah, but how's it dead? Exactly. So we go for the T-70. Take up. Still not happening there for Nerbo. And the one on the 1st Panzer Brigade. Which would later join with the SS Panzer Brigade Gross and become the Panzerverbande von Strachwitz, which would be an ad hoc armoured formation, one of the better ones, fighting in the Baltics, as a fun side note. I actually originally thought it was this ad hoc Panzer Division, but it was actually Panzerverbande, which isn't quite the same thing, just means sort of armoured formation. Bit like a Sperrverbande, which is sort of a blockading formation. Sort of Kampfgruppe element-ish, but sort of bigger, I believe in a sense, and just ad hoc. Anyways, we've got conscripts moving down there. Again, a lot of conscripts there. Interesting enough, none of Johan's doctrines really synergize well with this. I mean, counterattack tactics are most from Mother Russia, but none of the other doctrines really offer anything that works with them. So it does seem a bit peculiar. I mean, obviously, again, it's not bad, but, you know, it could be better. That's sort of, I think, the sort of version we go for there. Infantry company up now for Nerbo, so he's sort of backtracking a bit there first before taking up. Going for regular infantry to contest the opponent's infantry, getting him a Panzerfaust most likely also. And going for mortars as well for light artillery support for his hardened German infantry, for the most part. So we got the soldiers that are running back, clutching MP40s. Flammenpanzerwagen moving ahead. Using Southwards from Minesweepers, is obviously seeing one telemine, so he's expecting more from Nerbo. Nerbo, though, is now very much in the back foot here against Johan. Again, the initial sort of shock element has gone off, and thusly the forceful sort of more basic infantry to an extent will work a bit better. Particularly losing that Panzer Grenadiers was a bit of a blow to Nerbo, who is, again, they're not trying to consolidate his advantage with actually fast techs. In that regard, Nerbo's committing, I would say, a medium-sized mistake there. Again, not trying to push for medium armor as fast as humanly possible. I mean, he could easily probably had something like a StuG on Austrian up by now, but mostly actually a StuG, I think. Otherwise, going to still being run off by the T-70 light tank with its 45mm gun. The T-70 was basically made to simplify production of light reconnaissance vehicles, since they had basically before that the T-60 and the T-50, one which was an infantry support tank and one which was a reconnaissance tank. But obviously around that time they're sort of trying to simplify all their production instructions, thusly the T-70 came about. That's a little fun fact there. In fact, a lot of tanks were basically just scrapped because again they just needed to simplify production so they could just produce most of those tanks. Which also included a modernised version of the T-34-76, which actually had thicker armour, amongst other things, was entirely scrapped because it was just taking too much time to switch over to that, so that was just off the table. Fun fact. Actually, also noting, Johan has got a victory point over Nerbo. That's something also a bit aware from there. He's not handling his assault as sharply as he could have now as the game's sort of progressing. He sort of lost some of the offensive surprise elements, so he's not quite using them as well as he could, I think. That's certainly on to the assistance here of Johan. Half they're almost knocked out. After there's still a great use for him though. And there you go, T-7 rolling ahead. Getting the pioneers point blank with murderous glee. Look, Petro! Look how they fall apart! Yes, but I'm the driver, I also have to pay attention to the road. There we go, Nerbo finally taking up. Their soldiers fighting in the centre, closing in on Veteran T2 ever so lightly and slightly. In the south here, mortar firing down there on the Russian troops, and the Grenadiers holding up the side of the church with a light machine gun. And a field gun here for Johan. Pretty sensible choice. I mean, eventually he has to expect armour, and the Sith will certainly do a lot there. Mines down, sandbags down, because you're over there, Johan working there to sort of make the battlefield a bit harder for his opponent to take forwards on. Hitting the fuel point, or the cut-off point into the fuel. Very good work there by Nerbo. There you go, constantly pushing ahead. Rifle grenade here will be pretty good. At least just making a bit more worried about using cover. I mean, again, keep in mind though, if you sort of use grenades against unit heavy cover, they'll usually only take half damage from it unless you actually flank them while using the grenade, in which case, I mean, basically, sort of terms of rules wise, if the grenade goes over the cover, it will only do 50% damage. So, like, if you flank the unit and use grenades, they'll take full damage from the grenade. But again, if they at any point pass over cover, boom, it does less damage. Flamethrower half-track Veteran T3, a true hero of Germany, burning the enemies of the vast land. And there you go. Assault gets up close to the T-70. A tiny little monster. Unleashing pain and death. And there you go. Pack 49 to block off, but the T-70 is quick to fall back. Up here, though, Johan continues to exert pressure on Nerbo, who's desperately trying to hold off his opponent while he's finally also taking up there. Support armor core going up. Johan yet to go for Doctor, and also floating an awful lot of manpower. Now I'm actually noticing it. That's definitely also something you should be careful about, because again, it just means it's giving Nerbo more time to consolidate and get onto his feet. Or in that regard, you know, again, he was floating a lot of manpower. Build fuel caches, build munitions caches, something like that. Go for Doctor and call in the heavy mortar, call in guardsmen, call in shock troopers, call in shock troopers. You know, build a B4 or something. Panzer on the way for Nerbo. Again, feels a bit like he's dropping the ball, Johan, and there you go. Finally, Doctor chosen. It is a got motor, and it is a heavy mortar on the way there for Johan and the 213th Rifle Division. Panzer IV slowing away there for Nerbo. I'll try to give him a bit of an edge, but there you go. Johan also taking up. Again, could add a fuel cache out. I think could do this a lot more smoothly, to be honest. Also, feel like Nerbo's exerting too much focus on the centre at the moment. I mean, he could be doing more damage economically in the north, and certainly also pressure from the south more. But he's sort of committing, I think, an awful lot of resources to the centre, so I'm not entirely sure that's the best idea there. And there you go, mine goes off. Good mining probably by Johan. Good thorough mining. Panzer IV almost done. Again, the only real sort of, I think, big mistake by Johan is basically just, again, the inefficient resource usage in terms of taking up and just, you know, preparing caches. Season put back the pack 40, got the flame for half-tech moving in, Context moving in instead. Mine goes off, almost takes out the flame for a half-track. And up north there, grabbing the victory point there, Gute Arbeit, but he is still falling behind. And there we go, we got the Panzerkampfwagen out for Nerbo and the 101st Panzer Brigade. Technically, it wouldn't really have access to Panzer IV, so it would actually mostly been equipped with Panthers, much to the detriment of Panzer Division that also needed the Panthers, as a fun side note. So we got the hay mortar flying away there for Johan. Blasting away the machine gun in the church. We'll certainly be able to silence it soon if Nerbo does not relocate it. So there you go, Grenadiers supporting a Panzer IV there, hooking up from the south and could strike at Nerbo's position. Now also Johan's position. He's also finally going for a fuel crush there. That's good. That's good. But he cut it out much sooner, I believe. And now there's a problem. There's a Panzer IV moving up, so he might actually be forced to cancel it. Oh, finished it in time. Fuel gun setting up. Can they actually hit the Panzer IV from that angle? That's a really good question. Although they'll certainly land to perhaps push a bit faster towards the T-35 there, which he's most likely aiming for, since I was going to be going for the T-34-76. Now, there you go. Flame for half-tech going to rush the field gun. Hit its blind side. It's going to need to get some support there. T-70 hits the fuel cache instead. Bit rough there. We got another field gun out there for Johan and the 213th Rifle Division. North side there, we got a counter-attack with the assault gunners there, pushing them away. Again, Nerbo's assault gunner usage seems to have slipped off rather as the game has sort of entered the mid to late game. So there's certainly, I think, some room there for improvement by Nerbo and his assault gunner usage. Since even late game they can still be useful, but again it requires more flanking and more sprinting, and possibly a few smoke screens or half-tracks. Half-tracks, I think, synergize quite well with the assault gunners, so you can just use the half-track to just disengage them up close, you know, disembark them up close. You just unleash a lot of assault gunners upon your opponent. There you go, Panzer IV moving ahead. The field gun's a bit further behind there. He's obviously worried just going and rush them and just lose them, but at the same time they're too far behind. They can't really support that versus Nerbo's armor. And we can see that Nerbo's actually going for the StuG 3E. That's a bit interesting. He's not relying on the StuG 3E as a crutch, but he's actually using it because he wants some artillery support there, the more mobile kind, which was basically what the early StuGs were to an extent, also to support, you know, versus enemy armor, but, you know, they're basically just, you know, self-propelled artillery in that sense. Hence why they were part of the artillery branch when it sort of first came about. They were basically the brainchild of von Manstein, or Manstein, I can't remember if it's a von Manstein, but basically Manstein there was sort of envisioned them, and then the German sort of design departments back then would have sort of taken about there before the war. I believe Model had a bit of a hand in it at one point as well. So there you go, got the StuG 3 they're bombarding. They would by 1942 begin already upgrading them to the StuG F8s, which would have a high velocity gun that's like be able to challenge a lot of the Russian armour on the field back then much more easily, whereas early on they struggled a lot with T-34s and KB-1s, just the low velocity of the guns and no heat rounds either. The heat rounds also came about in about 1942. Much to the surprise of the Russians, by the way. There you go, S1 to the south though. Makes it a lot harder for Johan to use his infantry more freely, and there you go, got a full wipe there. That's definitely missions well spent there by Nerbo. So we got a Panzer IV and a StuG. We got a T-35 there on the way though for Johan and the 213th Rifle Division. North there, country fighting as assault gunners quickly falling back. Can't really force them out of the cover there without Molotovs or greater support. But now things are quickly changed against the Nerbo with this Panzer IV was able to push a successful offensive versus Johan. I still feel like his assault grenadiers could be better utilised. We'll have to see, of course, how Nerbo handles the arrival of the T-3045. Then again, the loss of fuel cache was quite harsh there for Johan. Again, I think he'd benefit a lot from the earlier one. But I'll wait, Panzer IV, they're shooting at the field gun. This is 3. They would, by the way, much later in the war, though, get a 100mm anti-tank gun, which is actually quite effective. Can't remember when they actually got it. Smoke screens, though, setting up in front of the enemy Pack 40. That's pretty good there by Johan. Actually, nice to see some smoke screens there. Stuff being shared there by Hey Mortar 5. We got the StuG moving in, firing at 75mm cannon. He's moving straight in front of the Panzer IV. Those engineers just need to get out of there. Hey Mortar there continue to blast. So he's going to have to smoke there soon again, or he's going to have to bombard because his country is staying about there on bloody row. And oh, field gun bombarding. Cis-3 firing high explosive shells, as it was intended to, as it was a field gun and not just an anti-tank gun. Fun fact that the Germans would copy the concept and basically would make field cannon versions of the Pack 40. There you go, Panzer moving in. If both field guns firing, he actually sees an opportunity to push out with this Panzer IV. Strike at the weaker targets there. Very good work there. But there you go, we got the T-35 flanking behind, getting behind the Panzer IV. They almost got it. Field gun rather low on health. Counter pushing ahead there as well. Need to be careful. Almost got the Panzer IV. No, he pulls back. He pulls back. I think he's worried about the Panzer first to the rear and losing the T-35. He's about to lose another counter support there if he's not careful. Lost the field gun there, or at least the crew, and there you go, Grenadiers wipe with the T-35, explosion silences them brutally. He's about to get the StuG as well. That's going to be a big blow there to Nerbo, particularly since he's also lost the flame for a half tank, and he gets it. StuG kaputt. Er hatte eine Sturmgeschütz verloren. Grenadiers on the way there for Nerbo. Panzer Grenadiers, I think, was doing better to an extent, but I'll pulling back the T-35 for a few repairs before moving out again. Good. Johan, though, might want to get some guardsmen here because he has just, again, better elite infantry with DP light machines. In particular, they can be quite threatening to enemy infantry. Plus, grenades are also quite handy. We got Grenadiers, Pioneers on the way there for Nerbo and the 101st Panzer Brigade. And charging straight into the council on the flank for Engineers. He doesn't have the missions there for the Grenade Assault, so there's no chance they really has of winning that one. In particular, now we got the T-35 on the rear here. With its 85mm gun. Got gunners moving up, they're going to try and steal that light machine gun, which, interesting enough, Johan never tried to grab that. I feel that's a bit of a shame there by him. Bit of missed opportunity, could easily benefit his conscripts massively. But meanwhile, though, the conscript can't actually resist the Grenadiers. His tank is too far away. Bit rough there for Johan, as Nerbo seizes any opportunity to just push ahead there aggressively and punish Johan. The T-35 there almost good to go. He can also soon aim for another one there versus Nerbo. And Nerbo here seems maybe to be aiming for a target tank versus Johan. Bit risky, but he does have sort of more resource advantage, so it could work out, but to an extent it feels risky. Could give Johan more time to sort of stabilize again. There you go, up close to taking fire from the T-35s. Closing in on veteran one with that T-3485. He's clearly worried about the Panzerfaust. He does get Panzerfaust this time around. In the south, we got the Panzer IV striking forwards for the fatherland, Germany. Because they're being rather catch rippers there, so they're retreating. almost wiped out. Almost got the T-35 fixed. But we can see the Nerbo's looking much stronger now again. I think that manpower float there for Johan just gave Nerbo just what he needs to get back into the fight versus Johan. And again, there was a bit of a mistake. There you go. Still got the double field gun so he can still threaten Nerbo's armor. And he actually does not go for a target tank. He's acting for a second Panzer IV. Not a bad idea. Johan, in meanwhile, though, is clearly setting up for the second T-35 there. He just needs a bit of manpower now before he can crush the fascists. Like insects. Kulaks. Not gulags, but kulaks. Which is sort of a rich farmer class. It was rather hated. So kulaks. I can't remember how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Need to pull back that T-35 before it's lit on fire. I mean, it is tougher than the regular T-34-76, but you know, not that tough. And the actual war probably wouldn't have been any real tougher because the T-35 had a lot of the same flaws, which include there wasn't actually a lot of room for anything, so the munitions and the fuel was just scattered across the tank, meaning, you know, in many cases a good hit there could light the entire thing on fire. Plus there's munitions across the floor of the tank as well. So, little fun fact about the T-35. Machine gun wipe there. He actually gone for a maximum. Feels a bit late there. He multiplied. Now, Johan's barely got any infantry left there. That's definitely not good. He's going for a T-34-76 instead, realizing he probably can't save up for the 85. Certainly looking rougher here for Johan. Again, that manpower float has proven a bit unfortunate for him. And of course, the subsequent actions. It's not really meaning to land any sort of further heavy hits to this Nerbo. And he hasn't been quite as aggressive or confident as he has been earlier in the game. But there we go, almost got the Panzer IV. There's several hot shots that are penetrating it. Looks like it's going to try and bombard here the machine gun into submission. 76.2mm high explosive shells raining down. There you go, almost wiped the entire thing. But there you go, gunners moving in. Could try and steal that maximum away from Johan. T-35 good to go, T-35-6 almost good to go as well. There you go. Quickly running around the corner there. Johan is in dire straits with again, so there's Nerbo bin, and Johan was also that early in the game, so you know things can quickly switch with a few well-placed attacks and some good handling of your tanks. We shall see how this actually goes out. This fight is far from over. And there you go, we got the Pack 40 there, Veteran 2 as well. Sehr good. T-34-6 moving out there, moving in the T-35 northwards. He's, I think, focusing on the victory point because now he's the one actually far behind Nerbo, having gone from being in the lead to now being drastically behind. He has to prioritize those. Also be sure to point the front of your tank towards enemy infantry. In this case, though, he needs to be careful with the Pack 40. He needs to sort of clear out there. Go T-35 strike from the north. Much safer there from the Pack 40. Could try and flank through here. Hope there isn't anything, which of course we know there isn't, but then that way get behind the Pack 40 and clear it out before it's too late. Oh, instead he's down a smoke screen there while flanking from the north there. A double sneaky there by Johan. Discard it. Can he destroy it though before his opponent get it back? Because he can't get it himself. Although moving up the T-35 should help it there. So good work there. Moving up the field guns, Panther could be a lot of trouble. We got another Panther on the way there for Nerbo, and the one of the 1st Panther Brigade, so that's going to be a lot of Panthers there. Sure to finish off the Pack 40. Don't push your fire hit. Johan 4646. So careful, careful. He's really intending on doing some serious damage to Nerbo before it's too late. And about to lose a Panther 4 there, and just as about to hit that C4 there, or 2. Quite a loss there for Nerbo. In the face of Johan there, making a very bold attack there. Certainly not, I think, one I would have made myself. Not like that, at least. But it paid off there. Needs to still destroy that Pack 40, unless he intends to secure it. He could also steal the mortar away from Nerbo. Johan, though, should also prioritize some infantry. That's really one of his bigger misses right now. He's got only one Panzer squad left. He's content with the enemy infantry. Another bit. But there you go. Victory 2 for the T-35. Certainly makes it a more formidable foe with a bit better rate of fire. Ah, almost got the MD-42 crew. Still doing nothing in the Pack 40. That could prove to be a big mistake. There we got gasping out though. And it's turning to the T-34 and lost the... Oh, the telemines laid down previously. The telemine there, the first telemines that Nerbo laid down have finally borne their deadly fruit, destroying Johan's T-35 there as he was veteran. Oh dear. And those are the best mines, by the way. And the ones close to your opponent's territory are usually the best mines because those are the ones your opponent least expects. Trying to flank with the Panzer IV. Got dogfield setting up. You can cover the Panzer IV's lot of heavy fire there from the double field guns. And it is being got a rough good one. There we go. It's got the Panzer IV and gets away. Pani's tank from the south there. All of a sudden, Johan's armoured spearhead has been completely surrounded and is being annihilated here, turning the tables on Johan. He got one of the Panzer IVs though, but he's going to lose that to T-34 hit to the Panzer IV. Again, the lack of infantry support is hampering what Johan can actually do with the support weapons aggressively. Again, he needs the infantry to keep the support weapons safe. He didn't even grab the machine gun there. Neatling down S-mines here, so quick turnaround there by Johan. Nerbo again. What could have been a rather formidable formation there, but Johan again lacked support and looks like Metro set off for someone wounded. But also just ultimately it was too quickly split up there by Johan, which I think was another mistake there, and just defeated in details. That was some like 2 mistakes they made by Johan. 2 great tactical errors and quickly spotted here by Johan, and then made I think pretty good focused armoured assault there, catching his opponent off guard, getting his remaining armour, and of course all of his field guns. Instilling a maximum way there. So good work there by Nerbo, good work. And the south then was paying off, completely obliterating Johan's guardsmen. Another T-Fed force still rolling up for Johan and the 213th Rifle Division. Good T-Fed rolling in, almost got the maximum there. Panzer IV pushing back there with a well-placed shot though. Not actually hitting shot though. But I'm sure the reports will say it was a well-placed shot, you know, warning shot. I'm sure. And a tank then against the Panzer IV, Conqueror getting absolutely obliterated. Got a Panzer IV from the T-34 from 6 damaging its engine. And it is almost being annihilated by heavy artillery. And he cruised the Pak 40. Wiped by the S-mines and retreat again. Those S-mines are paying off serious dividends there for Nerbo. Serious dividends. Again, also just proving why S-mines in a good position are actually quite valuable. I mean, it tends to be one of the things a lot of the Amat players tend to forget. Hell, I forget them from time to time, but really just well-placed S-mines, in particular sort of later in the game where your opponent might not be quite concerned with the mines, in fact, you should see also think just shine a lot then, for example, just catch units and retreat and wipe them. So if you're like struggling with the Wehrmacht, one of my tips would just be, you know, focus on improving your S-mine game, because well-placed S-mines can be quite influential at times in sort of, you know, decimating your opponent's infantry. Second field gun out there for Johan, third, fourth maybe. He's had a lot by now. Trying to clear the march. There you go. Assault gets rushing in. Almost Veteran 3. There you go. Up close. Gaining Veteran 3. Shredding the Assault Grenadiers in a hailstorm of bullets. And there you go. Grenade off. Oh! Mines go off there thanks to the mortar fire. Pioneers rolling out. Maximum supported by Grenadier Squad. There we got the Panther 26 for the mortar. Not looking good there for Johan. He's down to 37 victory points here. This is Nerbo. He's calling in more guardsmen. It rather looks like GG here for Johan. His forces depleted. His tanks mostly shattered. And Nerbo defiant. For the most part. Shot there, engaging the teeth. Oh, taking off the Panzer IV. Not really doing too much damage. His 3 rolling back a bit. I mean, overall the house is quite a bastard for him to deal with, because it actually makes it harder for Johan to set up a good field of fire against any tanks. And that's honestly the thing, this house, once it's destroyed, it's just a real bastard for the player here in the west. I mean, he just sort of blocks a lot of clear lines of fire. It makes it hard if your opponent's really set up anti-tank guns to sort of deal with your tanks. So you can basically use the house there to that way avoid a lot of incoming fire unless you've got enough anti-tank weapons or something. Grenadiers, I need to be careful. Tilting up there with the T-34-6, but that Pak 40 is doing a lot of damage as well. Tiger available now for Nerbo. Tiger. But there's like 6 points left. He might not even be able to call in the Tiger before the game is over. Guardsman white, and with this, Johan is pretty much crushed. And there we go, GG game over. A bit of a shorter match here. But I think still one had a lot of merit. I mean, again, we haven't seen a lot of a Mechanised Assault lately. Nerbo did, I think, reasonably good job. But again, his Assault Grenadier play did sort of, I think, shrug off. Sort of mid to late game, could have improved a bit on it there. But overall, I think he played pretty well. Some good flanks, good hits. At times, got two folks in the centre. Could have benefited from cashing himself. But overall, I think made some good armoured movements there. Certainly showed, I think, to be a sharper armoured commander than his opponent. Again, remembering that one maxim which is to strike with a fist and not an open hand, whereas again Johan was too quick to scatter his armour at times, which overall made it easy for Nerbo to push back. Plus, of course, more mines from Nerbo when he counted. That was also pretty good work there by Nerbo. Again, Johan though made a few strategic mistakes, tactical errors, again sometimes committing his armour in wrong ways, but also just again that big manpower float, not committing to cast or something else that is faster armour, I think really hurt Johan. Plus, I probably also just can't help but think he might benefit more from a doctor, and they can actually, synergize for all the concepts there, say something that would not for submachine guns, I think would made Johan a lot stronger, and for also further, minimize the effect of the assault grenadiers. So that's something there for Johan to consider if he ever watches this episode. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and some feedback in the comment section. And if you'd like to send a replay of your own, do provide links away on the leaderboard, details as to the match, map, length, so on there. Lack of details is most likely going to make me, not bother. And of course, if you'd like to support the Propagandacast, do consider as well. Links in the video description, Patreon or PayPal are options. Anyways, that is it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.